minutes for people to hop on, but as they are joining, welcome to JChats episode 9. Tonight we're going to be talking with possible impossible music. So I am super stoked. Gonna give it just a few more minutes here, but while we're waiting for people to join, I want to remind everybody to make sure they are checking out Here RVA Live, or Here RVA, I guess, live too. But we've got a bunch of cool things coming up very soon with Here RVA. We're almost a year into doing things for the music community here in Richmond, and we've been doing a lot the past year, but we've finally been able to feel comfortable enough to kind of ramp it up for everybody. So we're excited, and just again wanted to remind everybody to keep an eye on Here RVA, and also if you have not yet, check out Liner Notes. Liner Notes is an amazing series that we've got. We've talked to a couple of very cool people. We've had Ant the Symbol, Maggie from Ignite. I know I'm gonna forget people. DJ Harrison, the middle. My gosh, let me go and cheat and look. Definitely though, keep an eye out. Keep your eyes on our page, on our Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, so that you make sure you are seeing all the cool things that we have going on. I am going to have Patrick jump on here in just a second so we can talk to him. But I want to make sure that I get everybody. It's also reminding me to remind you guys that we do have a Buy Me a Record, Buy Me a Coffee on our website. So y'all, if you can, please go check it out. We've got some merchandise. We have some new stuff coming up soon as well. But we do have those options as well to help support Here RVA. We love helping you guys, and we want to keep doing that and continue to grow. And so the best way for us to do that is definitely going to be from y'all support. Like our posts, share things like this. Aaron Lunsford, I had it on the tip of my tongue, was the second episode from Liner Notes, but definitely stay tuned. We should have a new one dropping, I think, tomorrow. I don't want to get it wrong though, but we do have a bunch of stuff coming up. Rap Elite's got some stuff going on as well. Tomorrow evening is going to be the first round, but we'll talk about that later because I do want to get to why people are here. I am going to send you over an invite. And again, for people that are just hopping on, welcome. We are talking to possible impossible music this evening, because y'all don't want to just listen to me. Hello, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Can you see me?
I can see you. I can hear you. We are ready to go, I think.
All right, awesome. Well, welcome. And again, guys, this is Patrick with Possible Impossible Music. Hello.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you on. I first met you face-to-face back at a Safe Space RVA event, and it was so excited to see you and just like being able to talk. I feel like that was forever ago, and kind of getting this set up and chatting about it. So I just like...
Yeah, it was a real pleasure to meet you. I've been trying to make it out to some shows. I've, with come and go with coronavirus, I go out when it's going well, and then I don't when it's not. But I'm anxious to get out. I'm relatively new to the Richmond scene, or Richmond in general, so I'm excited to get out and meet folks and see some local acts and get more involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you there too. It's so tough, especially, people in the music industry, people like yourself, making decisions about touring, going out just even to shows, things like that. I'm with you. I want to be out there so badly and do more things in person, be able to get to meet more people, see you again, things like that. Holding tight for now, but we'll be out and about when it's a little bit safer and when necessary. But so you have been busy, busy, busy.
Yes. Yeah. It's been a really busy 2021. I've actually gone a bit quiet on social media as I recover. I just moved to RVA in June, end of June, from Southern California. So packed up my whole life, sold a business that I started out there and started all over in Richmond. And picked Richmond specifically because we wanted to live in a small city that had a lot of energy, creative energy, an amazing education system where it's turning out artistically minded people, but isn't so built up and inaccessible. We looked at Austin, Texas, and Seattle, and all the places that you might go to get that, but all that's become flooded with very expensive real estate. and my father was originally born in South Central Virginia in Danville, Martinsville area. So for me, it's like coming back to the state where my father came from. And so it's been a very interesting full circle experience coming back. But we love Richmond. We love being here. In addition, I recorded and released an EP, a 4-song EP or debut EP, released 3 music videos, 2 which I produced and directed. And
Wow.
so it's been, and all that's new, it's not just doing that, but it's learning how to do it. And then there's the little things you don't hear artists talk much about. I started my own record label to release my music and
Wow.
learned that whole side of it. The whole goal of the EP was to not just learn the ropes of the artistic side, but also be able to control my destiny business-wise. So I invested quite a bit of time and energy into getting good coaches, experimenting, learning, and the reception's been very good. I've received quite a bit of press on the first set of things that I released, and between YouTube and TikTok and Spotify and Apple and all the ways people can listen, got over 1 million streams and plays on that first EP. So it's been
Wow.
pretty exciting. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. That's incredible.
Thank you. It's been really hard. It's been so hard. So come Thanksgiving, I just wanted to take it down a notch, relax, recover. I've started recording again, but it's been a lot. But I will say that the thing that, I think was most meaningful was coming to Richmond as a new person, brand new to the scene, and receiving the support and love of around the EP release. You have been a great support for it. And no other coverage has generated the interest or the engagement of your local posts. So you're doing something really special here for Richmond. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That means so much. I want to be clear. I feel like I'm about to cry. I did not actually say this. Thank you. That means so much. And coming from somebody that, again, I've seen the hustle, I've heard about the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've got that hustle. And to have such a wonderful compliment, that's amazing. And it's really appreciated because I care. We care here at VA. Like, truly, we love what we do. And we love artists like yourself, business owners, things like that are able to contribute positively to the community. And something you said about, coming here from California and the different choices that you had, and you wanted to look for something where you still felt that you had that creative outlet. I'm so happy that we can be a part of that. And so thank you and welcome to Richmond.
Thank you. The love is mutual. I am very happy to be here, and I want to support Here RVA. I have big hopes for you. Yeah. Yeah, I think that the energy you have, the engagement with the community you're doing, whether it becomes this or not, I do think you have the opportunity to become the Austin city limits or the South by Southwest or the local grassroots effort that builds something special long term in the city. And so anyways, it's going to be a really fun next couple of years watching you grow this effort. And I think we've talked about this too. In Richmond, you have an extremely high level of talent, disproportionate to the size of the city, for sure. But they're all kind of siloed by genre, and there's not a lot of cross collaboration. So something I'm thinking about moving forward is how do I get the sounds of Richmond on the future stuff in a way that bridges the different groups. So part of my intention of going out and meeting musicians is I'm scouting for collaborators where we can create something that bridges those communities.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know with you, taking a break and things like that. If you haven't yet, join the Ignited app. I'm going to give a shout out, Maggie Graff, the Ignited app. You're on there, right? I feel like I've seen you on there, or
I have not joined yet. It's been one of those because I've been taking a break. I haven't dove
on,
into it. It is on the list, and I see the work that she's doing, and I think it's amazing to do that work, especially not just Richmond, but Central Virginia.
for sure.
Um, Obviously, it's turned out many great artists over time, but it is the community and the collaboration and the support across groups that's going to really provide more opportunity to everybody. So
Exactly.
I do want to
Exactly.
support it.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're a great spot to, like you said, looking for people to collaborate with.
Hmm.
All kinds of different things related to the creative community. But I'm really excited too to see what you got going on. And the first time I ever heard any of your songs, going through music submissions, things like that, just looking on Spotify, going asking friends. There's been a couple of people, and I don't want to say anybody's like full names just in case they don't want me to, but Courtney, Savannah, people like that, giving recommendations of local musicians, things like that. But the first time I heard you, like from a go, I was like, wow, this is really good. This is beautiful. You can tell from listening how much care you put into things. And I mean, my gosh. So let's talk about the EP, what you've got on there, kind of the process, like,
Yeah.
because
So
my gosh, you're like, you were giving me the compliments, and I was going to say this anyhow. And now I'm like,
I
you're
appreciate that.
amazing. You're
Um,
amazing.
Thank you. Possible Impossible. That the EP is called Human by Algorithm. There's 4 tracks, and it's a snapshot on kind of the exploration of what the sound is. So there's a bit of a range on there of experimentation. Um, so I demoed. So it all began with like when COVID hit and trying to save this family business I had and pivoting it and getting it sold. And there's a lot of, I think, collective trauma that we've all accrued in our own way the last couple of years. I needed an outlet, and for 2 decades I've been saying I'm gonna eventually go make the music that I've been wanting to make for so long, and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and finally I just, it's like, am I gonna do this or not? Because if I am, let's just do it. So about, I think, March of 2020, got a copy of Ableton and just started making demos. And my background is actually kind of like punk rock and emo bands. You can tell when I started being in bands in the early 2000s. And
My favorites.
yeah, lots of screaming and yelling and high angst energy. It's fantastic. And
Carve your heart out your
yeah.
skull. It's one of
And
my favorite dashboard things. Oh my God. Anyway, I got
That's a great lyric. Yeah, so funny enough, I started listening to the Dashboard album recently again, and just like immediately just pick up where you left off and you're singing along.
Yes.
But getting back to it, it forced me to listen to a lot of current music and think about where music is today. And I was struck how pop music is kind of like grounds for real experimentation and genre blending. And not we're not talking top 40 stuff. That stuff is pretty, rinse and repeat, focus group tested, which has its place. It keeps people employed. People like it. Really talking about more like K-Flay is an artist that was a big influence.
Yes.
She's incredible. Grandson, I think, is awesome, blending rock with dark pop. And there was these producers making. I mean, they do like club tours nationally. They're not filling stadiums, but it's pop music. But it blends this like early 90s grunge, where they're layering tons of guitars. In the 90s, they're layering tons of voices now. In this pop music, it's minor key. And it really struck me that the energy of that era is being encapsulated by a whole different genre now, but it's the same feel. It's the same energy of the, we're going to be doing weird experimental things. And
Yes,
So
like
I,
the garage dirty. I think
yep,
it was Weezer. Somebody like actually threw their amp or guitar or something into the wall or recording El Scorcho, I think is what it was. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That era of music is a huge influence on me. I still listen to those records, and I feel old when I do. Um, but they move me in a way that like modern pop music on in more of the like experimental pop world, the dark pop world, really it resonates for me the same way.
Yeah.
So I demoed a bunch of songs. My goal was just to write one good song, and I got a couple songs that I thought I think these are at least not bad. Um, and then I was in Orange County, and I thought, well, LA's right up there. Let me look around and see who I could collaborate with. And I found this producer named Trent Park, who's Trent Park's doing his own music. It's actually fantastic. It's really really good. He's equally as good a music director, music video director. He's starting to get real traction up there directing music videos. He's really talented, exceptionally talented. Um, and so we bounced tracks back and forth, and Oxygen was that first one. And Oxygen is this weird hybrid of like orchestral music, pop and hip hop, and and kind of grunge rock, kind of all mixed together. Um, and it was just this process of like once we got done with that and we got it mixed and mastered, I got just totally hooked, and I was really proud of it. And I thought, I think I've written a song and produced a song that doesn't suck. That was the
Well,
bar. I think.
I think this might be pretty good. Well, I hate to
Yeah,
tell you, none of your stuff sucks, in my
I
opinion.
appreciate it.
If you see me looking down too, I'm so sorry to interrupt your thought because I want like this is very
Yeah,
interesting. If you see me leaning down, I'm waving at people and I'm looking at the chat. Oh, so yes says never heard dark pop explained. Grunge pop. I like it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's a way to. Yeah, it's kind of grunge pop. Yeah, I definitely think K-Flay is figuring that out. There's a whole section of artists that are doing this now that I think is. And if I could just do like regional tours here on the East Coast of like small clubs, that would be amazing. That would be fantastic. And so I'm not aiming to be huge. I have a really awesome career outside of music, and so the music for me is purely 100% artistically driven. Um,
And like
yeah, so
soul, just deep love, obviously.
just love for it. But anything I do, I want it to be the absolute best. I never want to look back and think, oh, I could have got it mixed better. I could have spent more time. There's this dance of like, have I made it as good as I can make it, given my current ability? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's finish it. And we do the next thing. But I never want to have do something.
Hmm.
And I think people understood that when they saw the music videos, when they heard the music, that, at the very least, even if it's not for you, it's it's world-class produced. And that's not an accident. It's, made big investments in time, energy, and money to make sure it's the best it could be. I think one thing I would say about the Richmond music scene, and it's tough because, you're either like, you're either making a ton of money or no money. That's the music industry.
There's no in between yet.
There's no
But
middle class.
that's why this community is here because we're changing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we're going to change that. Yeah.
yeah. I think we can, but we need more. We need not just more bands and musicians. We need world class producers and world class mixing engineers and mastering engineers, folks who are willing to maybe go down on their rates to help out a local act. Who are willing to help lift up the whole scene, right, by
Yeah.
collaborating.
Yeah.
So I hope we can get there. There are definitely the pieces in place in most areas. It is difficult to do pop music in Richmond. It is a bit of a unique genre here in the city, where it's a lot of folk and bluegrass and singer-songwriter and hip hop. So I'm
Like,
still trying.
I was trying to remember the metal, like Gwar
Yeah, there's a
style.
lot of that, and there's a lot of very talented musicians in those genres, and they're
Yeah.
doing great. But I'm curious, like, how do we make the whole pie bigger,
Yes.
and how do we include genres that are not well represented in the city? It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
No,
Um,
I agree completely. And again, and looking at the chat here, T_RVA, what's up? Hearts to you. Jay, what's up, y'all? Elijah, he's saying we all have to work together. Ryan, pop musicians are so metal. They are really like, yes, and it is something that is not quite into Richmond yet, but you're saying it so much, and I love hearing it. Working together, being able to make Richmond a place that is comparable, if not better than LA, New York, things like that, Nashville, so that we don't have to travel around. The crazy thing is people like you, artists like you, putting in the work, showing people you can do this. So many people, and I will, I do want to name names too, and I'll get to that because I want you to do the same. There are world-class producers, people that are here in Richmond. They just, prior to all of this, gestures wildly, they didn't feel like they had a place. That I had a conversation with Tom of Orbital Music Park, and I think he said it really well. It was difficult for, people to call themselves musicians, things like that, because they didn't really have a spot to feel that way. And now people are seeing, well, yeah, and it's not necessarily you have to leave the house. It's let's talk to each other. Let's help each other. I love the ideas of collaboration. Not to put you on the spot, but is there anybody in particular that, you've thought, hey, I want to maybe collaborate with you, or have you talked to anybody? Is that anything that you can talk about, want to talk about?
Well, that's part of why I want to go out to shows. I definitely have been following more Richmond artists. And a lot of the jazz acts have phenomenal musicians I would love to have perform. You had DJ Harrison on, who's incredible on keys and bass. And then you had Anthesymbol, who obviously, I listened to his music after I watched him on Liner Notes, and really well mixed, well produced music. Really old school sound, doing his thing just because he loves that sound. He's I have a tremendous amount of respect and loved the production quality of what he did. I did make it out to see Blush Bass open for the Broomies. They're a local indie rock act, and they have their new track is pretty unusual in its song structure, and she's a very talented vocalist, and I'm
gonna have to look into them.
Yeah. I think I would like to make it out. I know tomorrow, one of your here RVA folks is going to a DJ MC team battle, and I'd love to make it out to one of those and see some hip hop and some freestyle stuff done in this town. And but I'm still fairly new, so I'm still getting my feet under me, but there is definitely a ton of interesting things happening. I've thought about what is the best drum room in the area, and there's obviously some interesting analog recording studios that would be interesting to, some good rooms to be interesting to track drums in. And so I feel like it's not just musicians to collaborate with, it's, what spaces to perform in visually, where can I grab visuals? And actually shot the video for Normal on the Belle Isle Bridge, the one that has the suspension on it.
That's cool and scary.
It was very cold and windy, and it was perfect for the video, but I want to show more of Richmond in the music videos and the visuals moving forward. So I definitely I think that, as much as artists in LA lean into being in LA and show the palm trees, which are not native to LA, by the way, it's actually, they're just brought in. And they show the culture there, we should be showing Richmond, because it's blossoming with culture and energy. And I live in Tuckahoe, and it's easy out here to forget what you have next door. It's not that far. And so I'm really excited, and I think downtown is absolutely, it's kind of vacant and run down, but it's also very charming and really interesting. And I just think over the next decade that our downtown is going to become just full of life and interesting places to go and see. So I just want to really showcase all this and
Yes. I
put.
can tell you, no, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. It's fine.
I was just going to say, I can tell you right now, I guarantee you, Elijah and Ryan are sitting in their homes right now going, yes, yes, yes. We had another meeting today, the three of us, and we were just talking about like how gorgeous is our city, and talking
Mhm.
about the different murals around, just different spots, things like that. And you're absolutely right. It's so gorgeous. And to hear again, you, an artist new to Richmond, also out there appreciating the city and wanting to incorporate it and showcase it. Like, you don't have to do that, but that lends to the thoughtfulness of your
Mhm.
process, the thoughtfulness of what you're doing. And I think it's super cool. Um, Hollywood Cemetery is my favorite place in Richmond,
Okay.
downtown. If you have not been, check it out. It's gorgeous. And
I'll have to make it happen.
the history is incredible, totally worth it. And as far as, again, spots to be able to do different things, you're talking about drums, things like that. I'm going to give another shout out to Orbital Music Park. Um, they have such an incredible setup. They hosted our vision castings meetings, but what they have, I don't want to get too much into it because this is about you, but they have spots like that. They have equipment available for people to play. They have different practice pods, things like that. They are 100% require masks. They're not going to let you in without
Hmm.
one. If all of that, very, very safe, but cool, different, opportunities like that. So if you do want to go play, bring your own stuff. But if you don't have everything you want, or you want to be able to do this or that stuff is there and available. So to keep that in mind, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them online and on social media. They're definitely creating a really neat space for folks, and it's very vibey. It's very artistic, and it's not kind of stuffy. It seems like a great. It's something it's in space I've kept in mind as. But my path moving forward is to do a couple EPs and then start playing shows.
Yeah.
So thinking about where we're going to practice and set up, and um, but it's a little ways off. I got to get a couple EPs out first. Um, but uh, but yeah, I think like you said, like these things exist. We just have to increase awareness of them and help make people know what's available.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
there's so again, Ryan C plus, saying there are so many gems in Richmond, and there are
Hmm.
places available, and part of this has come from people like us. You said it earlier that you moved, you had a job, this, that, and the other, and just wanting to do what you truly love. So there's
Hmm.
been a lot of new things creative, even just within the past year or two, out of frustration of everything around us, and saying, you know what, Richmond's deserved this. We've needed this. It's how Here RVA came about. It's like what like how and so having all of our minds come together, talk about each other, support each other. It's awesome. What else? So sorry, I feel like I'm just over here like wow.
No, it's fine.
And also I can think of a couple of people. So let me circle back though. With your collaborations, um, what you had mentioned, like the pop music aspect, being kind of lower on the what you can hear here in Richmond local wise. What are you looking for when you're like, I want to collaborate with somebody? Like, what are you thinking? What were your ideas?
Yeah. So one of the things I look for, like I'm still on the search for, I'd love to find a local producer to work with, and like the quality, it needs to not sound stock. It needs to not sound like someone just put a bunch of plugins in, made a beat, and put it out. It needs to sound like they took the time to explore sounds, to not get away from the stock stuff and find your own feel and sound. That was a big part of it. Two is that I do operate kind of in this higher fidelity, not lo-fi. Like I love lo-fi too, but it is like higher fidelity, super produced kind of sound. So somebody who's in that field, like and vibe is really important. Um, and then on the, it's not so much the mix because that you can get, I have the people to help with the mix. But I feel like so many mixes that I hear from Richmond music are kind of in this, and we're all looking to improve, FY. I'm not trying to be critical. I just feel like they put so much time and attention into their equipment. They put so much time writing a great song. They go to a good studio, a great studio, or they work with a great producer and get it done. And then they go to mix it and it sounds real muddy and kind of like it's not shining as well as it could given what they recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell if that's it, but it seems pretty consistent. And so I wonder, like, the talent
Maybe
level
it's a
around mixing,
need.
or yeah, I think there's a need there to really have people who know how to make things pop and sound amazing. Yeah, so for me, that's trying to figure out like what enrichment is causing that to happen, like why mixes are not haven't, I personally do not prefer the way that things have been mixed by many of the local artists. So when I heard at the Symbols mixes, I was like, there we go. It's so well mixed and mastered. Like, okay, like
Yeah.
awesome. Good, people are doing it. I just got to find it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I'm looking for somebody who can really produce things at a world-class level, or for session musicians, really looking for folks that when they're playing, they're really adding character and something unique. They're not just hitting notes. They're not just playing along. Like there's something really unique about what they're putting in. It feels like only they could play it. I think DJ Williams definitely we've had on that show or on liner notes. When he plays, it's him. You're not going to get that from anyone else. They're saying something when they play, and so I think that that's definitely an attractive aspect to looking at session musicians.
Yeah.
And then visual collaborators, I've been working with Alexander Joffox Photography, who was local on a lot of the visuals and music video. The last two music videos, Subtle and Normal. He's an amazing collaborator, easy to work with, and he has a unique slant and a unique look that worked for what I was looking to accomplish. And always everything that's finaled by him looks exceptional. Like not just the visual direction, but the actual technical execution of that is absolutely world class. So I think that helps answer the question of like what I'm looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a very well thought out question, and it does boil down to, and I know you weren't intending to be critical, and it wasn't critical. I think this is something important to talk about. With different quality, yes, we have a huge pool of talent. It's number one, is there a need for people to have access to the education to get better? Number two, is it also maybe a little bit of, you see, like, you got to see that hustle. And when people are able to really put their full selves in and take this seriously, like they're going to be up for, a Grammy or something, whatever it is important as far as like global, national, whatever levels, things like that. It is important to present yourself in the best way possible. And so, yeah, it's lovely to see and making sure that, it's conveyed that this isn't easy. This is not, you don't just wake up one day and go, even if you're super talented, like, I'm going to make something, throw it together, and like parts of it can look cool, parts of it, whatever. You do absolutely have to take all of those pieces. And if you really want that message to come across, make sure you're doing exactly what you said. Show your heart through your work. Don't take all this time to record something or whatever it is and then throw it up and you're mixing and mastering is like, or whatever it may be. So yes, working hard and finding like-minded people, and it seems more and more and more. I feel like we're going to see a lot more of the Symbols, different people like that being able to put up these types of things and following lead and watching you taking notes, being like, yeah, I want to do that. I want, like, that's
Hmm.
what I want my look to look like. That's why it's important for us to talk about each other, talk to each other so that we can say, hey, this particular person has this type of style for production,
Hmm.
this type of, all of these things. And it's cool to not only have this starting and brewing and really blowing up, but there are options. One of my favorite music directors growing up, I'm going to show my age a little bit. I always say it anyway. I'm going to be 40. Joseph Kahn, I loved his music videos in the 90s. Like, really colorful, interesting, almost movie-like, but not for everybody.
Hmm.
So there's you're starting to see different people for different styles, different things like that. Who did the producer, one more time, I want to make sure that we don't forget that name as well, who you were saying that did such a great job for you for your videos.
Oh, Alex Joffox of Joffox Photography did great on the visuals with, yeah, and we'll continue to work with him. He's been a great collaborator. Um, I will come with a high level vision or idea of what we're looking for, um, and we'll throw ideas around. But he just makes it so easy to just then there's not there's not a whole lot of guesswork when we show up to shoot, which is nice. We just kind of knock
You
it
guys
out. We're
can
done.
read each other's mind and
Yeah.
understand each other's visions, which is going to be important, um, along with meshing who you're working with, things like that.
Hmm.
What else you got going on? I just want to remind people too. I've been having so much fun. I was just checking the time to make sure I'm not keeping you too late, also. But for
I'm
people
doing
just
okay. Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about NFTs, and I know it's all the hype right now, but it's something that I'm in my day job. I've been working in NFT land for 2 years in my day job. Um, by day, I'm a video game developer, and so I have privy access to many of these things going on. Um,
that sounds boring.
it's the best. It's so cool. I have a charmed life. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really hard path getting to where I'm at in my life. But I'm just like living the dream right now. It's the best. It's really cool. Yeah,
But
but
you've worked really hard.
I've worked really, really hard. Yeah, the same like what you see happening in music that didn't happen. That's a career of building towards that mentality around my work. So um, I've worked on some are considered some of the greatest video games ever made, and you earn your way into that opportunity, and then you have to deliver on that opportunity. So when I went to music, it was like that same mindset of it has to be exceptional. It can't be anything less. Um, but yeah, the NFT world is booming right now. One of the things I'm struck by, and this is just something to think about, the music industry right now has basically handed the majority of its revenue to a Swedish tech company called Spotify and to Apple. And they got a share of that. That's how they got the deal done. But now with NFTs and digital ownership mattering again, now they're about to hand ownership of music to a bunch of tech companies. And Radiohead just did their virtual exhibit inside the Unreal Engine in the gaming industry. We see mocap captured virtual metaverse performances taking off. And while I don't think the metaverse is actually going to manifest as in the way that people envision it, that's my opinion. Um, the NFTs and underlying tech, or this idea of ownership of a digital asset, a unique digital asset that you can resell, is definitely it's here. But the music industry, in a traditional sense, is going to insulate itself from risk and look to make itself a gatekeeper on all of those opportunities. And artists are so quick to want to plug into the traditional way of distributing and interfacing with their audience. And I'm like, this is the time to forge a different path, independent. There are reasons to work with the traditional music
Excuse me, I'm
industry,
so
but
sorry.
that's okay. But I think the idea of a record label that you do like the traditional record label deal is almost invalid. It's almost, I don't even know what it means anymore, other than you're getting a high interest loan.
Yes.
So I I'm very fascinated by all this, and any artist who is serious about making a career and not taking the time to explore NFTs, is just giving their destiny and control of their art to someone else at this point. So I'd encourage everyone to dive in. The tools in a year or two, the tools will be easy. It'll be like DistroKid, where super easy to upload and create an NFT. We'll be there in a year or two where it's really easy. And you don't have to jump on the current bandwagon where everyone's trying to make fast cash. But I think it'll find anyways, it's an area that I'm very involved in, and seeing it from behind the scenes, both the bad actors and the scamming people and the legit people who are really going to make this thing stick. It's something that I'm very excited about, and I just would encourage everyone to look at, because it's just taking control of your destiny as an artist. And I hope in Richmond we don't hand all of our future success to record labels, because they have a less and less. They'll pretend like they hold the keys, but less and less they actually hold the keys. Yep. So anyways, we talked a lot about that, and I just wanted to touch on that, because I think for Richmond to boom, we can't all move to LA and sign record contracts. You can't do that.
And I think you hit the nail on the head too. It's not even necessarily the smartest thing to do. And yeah, like, protect your hard work.
Yeah.
So many people are so sick of putting their all into stuff for somebody else to benefit. We talked about it a little bit when we met for the first time in person at the Safe Space event. Still confusing, but interesting, and I'm excited to hear more about it and learn more about it. And I'm with you. I'm hoping that Richmond does take advantage of this. Is it something that you're looking to help people with, or like, are you going to mentor? Do you anything along those lines?
Well, I feel like YouTube is quickly filling with, just like with Ableton or Pro Tools, like the tutorials on this are piling up. So if it's not hard to learn it, you just have to put in the time, and you have to be willing to put out some cash and experiment and be willing to fail. And so I don't know how useful it would be for me to go teach it as the internet piles up more and more learning. I think that big difference between like where I've had success in the video game industry and others have struggled is that I was always willing to run out the opportunities and learn everything about it. I went into game design and direction, but I learned all the business side of it as well, and learned about legal contracts, and like I had to learn every aspect of that business, but that gave me a leg up. And I think music is the same, and anyone who pursues music should. It's not as fun, it's boring, but all the success is in those boring details that you just execute. So yeah, I will not sign up for that because I don't think there's a need. I think there's plenty of opportunity to learn it. But I would just encourage them to go learn it. Yeah. But there's some interesting YouTube folks that are teaching it. One is Andrew Southworth, teaches music marketing, and everything you need to know about getting your music marketed, his YouTube channel will teach you. Because everything else right now is not as high ROI is what he's doing. And then there's Tom. Oh gosh, I mean, you'll get recommended all the related ones. Tom Dupree, Dupre. He's experimenting with NFT stuff on his YouTube channel, and you can learn exactly how he does it from his YouTube channel. But I encourage every artist to take that on and go after it.
So yeah, go look into it. YouTube these people. Take the time to, invest again in your craft, what you're doing. May not be the most fun thing. Who knows? Maybe you'll be super into it and enjoy learning about it, but definitely worth looking into and educating yourself with that. Thank you. I appreciate that. This has been incredibly helpful, I think, uplifting, really interesting. It's funny to hear you talking about, well, I made a song that's maybe not crappy, and kind of went from there, and got the EP together now. You're a really fun person. You're very very, very thoughtful. And by that, I mean, it's just, again, so apparent in your work, how you're talking to me, how you're thinking about Richmond, your community, your new community. How can we help each other? How can we put our best foots forward? How do we present our best selves? And you're a super, super important and valuable addition to our community. And we're so excited to have you. And I've just been so honored to talk to you tonight and looking forward to seeing more from you and, continuing to listen to what's out there now. And like I said, looking forward to what you've got coming up next and reminding you that it's not crappy. And other people will tell you that it's not just okay. Like it's
Yeah.
very, very, very good.
Thank you so much.
Possible, impossible. You're amazing.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, for sure. Was there anything else that you wanted to add? Anybody you'd like to say hello to before we wrap it up for the evening?
I'm just very excited to be here. I'm excited. Anyone who watches this, who goes to a local show, please say hi. I may or may not have blue hair at that time. I am growing it out, but I hope. I'm very tall. I'm 6'5", so if there's a 6'5" person who looks like me, please say hi. I'm really excited to get out. No, it's unfortunately I can't hide. No, it's great. It's a great thing. I'm excited to go get out. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it.
No, thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate you. Excited to hopefully, see you out again soon when everybody's feeling safe, things like that. But you've been absolutely amazing. I do want to ask people that are watching to stick around for another second. I'm going to let you, though, get to your night.
All right.
Possible, impossible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
You too. Enjoy your night.
Right. Take care.
You too. Guys, that was Patrick with Possible Impossible Music. What do you say after hearing from somebody like that? Somebody that is really open and honest and reminds us all about the importance of putting our all, putting our heart into our work, supporting and loving each other, asking each other questions, getting, tools, things like that, different things necessary to help each other succeed. And I really appreciate all that thoughtfulness. Again, just looking forward to seeing more from him and all of our other artists in the community. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up for this evening. But as a reminder, liner notes, we have the Rap Elite starting tomorrow evening at Brewers Cafe. Check Instagram or HearRVA site, Radio Blitz, all kinds of different accounts have it posted. Make sure you can come stop by if you're feeling safe and into it. Wear your mask. We'll have a couple of other things coming up. I think I'm going to be out in February, maybe. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell. But hopefully I'll start to get to meet more of you guys in person. Just want to thank everyone once again for watching, saying hello, popping in the chat. Here are RVA, myself, we love you guys, and we're so excited to continue to see Richmond grow. Have some more exciting artists coming up. We actually have shows running through March, all set and ready to go. But if there's anybody in particular, any artists you guys would like to hear from, anything that you would like for me to talk about, businesses, let me know. Shoot me a message. I will respond to you, I promise. It might take me a minute, but I will respond. Guys, it's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you for tuning into JChats. I will see you guys next Monday. Kitty, me out.
You run away from love, you run away from us, 'cause you'd rather go and get a stranger's attention, but you never know how